This story right here that I'm about to speak about is a bittersweet one because this could have easily been avoided. Now, the sweet part of it is how much this guy was rewarded for his pain and suffering. The bitter part, however, is the condition he was left in which he will not really be able to enjoy what he received. So the person you see in this picture name is Jerry Blaisingame. 2018, he was attacked by some Atlanta police officer. Well, he was attacked by an Atlanta police officer, terrorist, race soldier, in a very aggressive way that left this man paralyzed from the neck down, meaning he's pretty much immobile. The only thing that he can really move is his mouth. He can't really move anything else, and maybe make facial expressions, and that's about it. He can't move nothing. He's pretty much immobile. It will be one thing if he was paralyzed from the waist down. It would be dope if he didn't have to be paralyzed at all. The city of Atlanta awarded this man $100 million. And I'm sure most of it's going to come out of the taxpayers' pockets for his pain and suffering. But like I said, bittersweet, because the sweet part is he got all that money, but the bitter part is that he won't be able to really use it. I hope he has some reliable family members that will put it to good use. And I'm sure most of it is going to go to medical expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from Revolt. It was posted August 29th, 2022. In 2018, Jerry Blaisingame was 65 years old and panhandling. Atlanta police officer John Grubbs is accused of using excessive force to deter the elderly man from committing the minor crime. What does this remind you of? Isn't this what they tried to get Eric Garner on? They said he was out there selling loose cigarettes, which he really wasn't. He was breaking up a fight, and that's what they tried to go with, and then he got murdered with an illegal chokehold. As Blaisingame attempted to flee the scene, he was chased and tased by the officer. I wonder how fast he could actually move, considering he was 65. While being tased, Blaisingame fell and hit his head on concrete, causing him to become paralyzed. He fell head first, y'all. He's lucky to even be alive. He now requires consistent medical care. Vin Johnson, an attorney for Blaisingame, said he was panhandling, and the police, of course, rolled up on him, chased him, and then ran after him. On August 27th, he told the local Atlanta news station 11 Alive that the officer struck Blaisingame while he was about 10 feet away. Johnson continued, since he's not under arrest, he can run or do whatever he wants to do. Jerry then fell again face forward, face planted, smashing his head, multiple facial fractures, brain injury, and broke his neck. The outlet shared a video from the officer's body cam footage. In the video, the 65-year-old is seen laying down motionless in a grassy area. Blaisingame allegedly became unconscious during this time. Georgia NAACP President Gerald Griggs, who was a lawyer, believes the large settlement may cause police departments to react better in certain situations. I'm telling you right now, it ain't. How many times have these race soldiers done these type of things? Whether the person is still breathing or not, and they still continue to do the same thing. I will say this is one of the more largest settlements I've ever seen, but it sounds to me like nothing happened to the cop that is pretty much responsible for this. I mean, granted, we got a name, but I don't see anything about no charges. They said, oh, you know what, let's just pay him this money. But like I said, he's paralyzed from the neck down. He can't move. They said he's going to have consistent medical care. I just hope that he has some family members around that can make sure to monitor that money, because $100 million is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. He used Grubbs as an example. Do you really think it's a good idea to have somebody that's a $100 million liability on your force still interacting with the citizens? Blaisingame has already accumulated $14 million in medical bills. $14 million in medical bills, because he's basically been getting medical treatment since 2018, and they rack up. Mind you, they only paid him $100 million. Really, that money is going to medical bills, and that's all it's really going to go to until the day he dies. So my thing is this: if they leave him there until the money runs out, by the time they gon' you know what, they be like, we can't do nothing else for you. They gon' in so many words, pull the plug. This guy's lucky to, like I said, be alive and not in a vegetable state. His body is, but his mind isn't. He's not brain dead, even though he's lucky not to even be that, considering he had a brain injury when he fell. However, they remain hopeful that the funds from the settlement will aid in helping the now 69-year-old Atlanta resident work towards a sense of normalcy. Johnson shared that he's really happy for Jerry because they are now seeing just a little bit of movement in his arms. He added, hopefully, now he will have money to fund his care so that he can live the rest of his life as best as he possibly can live. First off, let me just say that this is extremely messed up that this happened to this man. This should have definitely been avoided. And of course, by the time I read to the end of the article, nothing happened to this cop, John Grubbs, who was responsible for that. The NAACP member actually brought up a good point. He said, are you sure you want to keep a $100 million liability on your force? Of course they'll keep them there. Do you know how many of these race soldiers are liabilities and have cost a lot of these departments millions of dollars? Well, not the departments, because if they, let's be real here, if they really were a liability, they would have gotten rid of them because the money would have came out of the departments. The money does not come from the departments. It comes out of the taxpayers' pockets. That's why they don't see them as a liability. It might put a dent into their reputation at best, but to really say it's going to do something major, no, it's not really happening. So this is $100 million that's not coming out of their pocket. So that's why they don't really see it as, you know, a dent in their wallet. Not even a fracture, to be honest. So that's why they're not worried. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised that many of them are upset that this guy actually lived and the fact that he's going to be receiving this money. But they're probably like, well, he can't really spend it the way he wants to because it's all going to go to medical bills. After all, you just heard me say $14 million already in medical expenses since he's been in the hospital. He's been there since 2018. He's been there for the last 4 years. This man has spent the last 4 years of his life in a hospital bed, inside of a hospital. He cannot leave until he is cleared to actually leave out of there. Now, they did say that he has some movement in his arms, which is a good thing. That means there's some mobility there. That means there's definitely some nerve damage, but they definitely going to have to make sure that he's willing to be ready to go. And that's a long road to recovery, because you also got to take into consideration this man's up in age. He is 69 years old. He is not 29. His body cannot heal as fast as someone as less than half his age. When you get older, your body heals slower. Now, if he, like I said, if he was younger, his body would heal a little bit faster, but we would never know, because some people who might have been younger than him could have died from that. You just never know. Oh, that's why I say he's extremely lucky to be alive from this. And as far as that cop goes, like, I don't know what happened to him. It's like they didn't say anything. They didn't mention about no charges. They didn't say they didn't even mention if he was put on this quote unquote administrative leave, which if they did do that, that's most likely what he got. If they did that. So my assumption is that they did not do anything to this John Grubbs character who terrorized this man, as far as I'm concerned, all over a quote unquote minor crime. They ran and chased after this man like he committed a murder. That's what I always say. Whenever it's black people, when it comes to quote unquote minor crimes, they always escalate it like it's something way bigger than what it is. Again, it goes back to that whole big black boogeyman trope. And also, this man, Jerry Blaisingame, falls into one of my soft target categories, the one of the elderly. This is an older gentleman. So he couldn't move as fast. Excuse me. He could not move as fast. Another lucky thing is that he didn't get shot with actual bullets. Now that would have probably definitely taken him out. But they figured, oh, he's an older man. We don't have to get him that way. We can get him this way. Which also makes me wonder if he was in his 20s and was able to move a little bit faster, they probably would have went for that handgun, that firearm. and that would have been it, because they love to shoot black people in the back. Look at Jalen Walker. Case in point. So thanks to Tawana in the Discord for posting what I would deem as a plot twist to this entire story. So you know how we mentioned a person named John Grubbs, the cop that was responsible for tasing this man? Well, there he is in the picture. That is John Grubbs. That is the pig. As far as I'm concerned, he is a black-skinned race soldier, in my honest opinion, who tased that man and caused him years of agony and pain and $100 million payout. Well, settlement, of course, that's going to mainly medical bills. But that's him right there. Just thought I would throw that in there for you. Mainly due to the fact that his picture wasn't readily available when I did the initial video, because when I typed in the victim's name, only his picture came up. They didn't attach the cop's picture to it until I just went and typed his name into the Google search, and then bam, it popped right on up. Because I think it was posted maybe about an hour or so later. It wasn't posted with the original story itself. It wasn't until hours later until they identified who the cop was that did it. And here he is. But I'm going to go ahead and conclude the video right here. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to click that bell to be notified. If the bell does not work, I will always upload my videos in a Premiere style format. And you can click the notification button that's either going to be located on the left or the right of the thumbnail, and you should be notified that way. The links will be down in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.